relaxation without the sort of the dullness. But I think also the yawning can come for other reasons as well, but they're usually the two most common reasons.
Is it okay to ask a question about Buddhism, not practice?
If it's related, I mean, there are many things we can talk about.
Just wondering, if Buddha is not a god and Buddhism is a godless religion, why is there a shrine behind you with, candy and presents like in Hinduism?
I'll give a short answer because this we can, this is a whole topic itself. Like this picture of the Buddha or so forth, it's not so that we can worship him. In fact, he told us not to do that. It's to be used to inspire us, to see what he has achieved, and then if we see that, or maybe also we can have a picture of our teacher instead.
No, so I'm asking
I'm coming. I'm coming. So this is then to inspire us, not so that we have some sort of blind devotion to anyone. And all the other things are for a similar reason, is that, like we have on the top there, we have a stupa, a text, and a statue. So that's representing body, speech, and mind of enlightened being, to remind us that this is what we are striving for. And then these offerings here are to help us to develop generosity. So that's the main reason for the offerings, is to help the mind of generosity. I mean, there's a lot more to be said. Sorry?
For the statue, not for Buddha, they're for us as a symbol.
Yeah, I mean, we are offering it for that, but the purpose of the whole practice is for us to be generous. And so often, usually when these offerings are made, after then they've been there for a day or whatever period, then we usually give them off to other people.
But who do you offer them to?
You can offer them to the Buddha, your teacher, whoever you want. Again, it's an offering because these are the very people who are giving us the instructions to help us to overcome suffering and find genuine happiness. So that offering is for that purpose. It's not to make them happy. What would make them most happy would be as if we implemented their instructions and we overcame suffering and found happiness. That would make them most happy. We're going to look at that a little bit in this chart in the next session, but then just a short answer and then we'll take a break again, is that this is what we do in our modern society. We do the multitasking, which of course has been shown to be completely ineffective. So mindfulness is going to help us to be more effective in what we're doing. And we're going to find, and we'll look at that in the next session in this chart, we're going to go through certain stages of improving our focus. Now, of course, we try to focus on something and then usually we're just completely distracted. And sort of at the next stage we can focus, but then there's other things going on and we're sort of nearly pulled away, but we're sort of holding a little bit. That's better than completely gone. And then the next stage is we're mostly there, and then a little bit in the corner of our mind there's some chit-chat going on, so that's better. And then eventually we want to be 100% there with nothing else going on, because that's fragmenting our attention. And so that's sort of the stages we go through here, and I'm going to talk about that in the next session. So quick question, then we need a break.
Just found that this practice, the other I was also falling like a sleep state of mind, and here, the first time I was very alert.
Yeah.
So,
And And the reason mainly is because it's a more subtle object, whereas if you focus here or full, you can be sort of half asleep and still notice something, and that's sort of what we do. Whereas here, if you're half asleep, you're not going to notice anything. So it challenges us to be more alert, but of course the flip side of that is then often tension can come in.
I could feel my face very
Sure.
tingling, like,
Yeah, so we need to be careful because often that, particularly a lot of tingling here, can be a sign that we're really tensing. So we need to balance. So again, we want relaxation and clarity together. We don't want to be clarity at the cost of relaxation. We don't want to be super tense here and clear, because short term we can focus, but the long term side effect is not so good, because we're going to get very agitated, and the more we allow that to happen, the more we'll get in that habit, and that's actually the very habit we're trying to overcome. So
I thought about it also.
yeah, very good. Okay, now we need a break, and we'll come back in the next session and we'll have more Q&A then. Okay, so let's take a break and come back at